tips or grants or donations without having to go through any third parties. There's a lot of power on that. And I think the spirit of what NFTs represent, the spirit of just looking critically at how artists are compensated and improving that, is something that we want to spend a lot of time and a lot of our focus on going forward, to make sure that we're just looking deeply at entirely new ways to give artists the right tools to help them, and to build. Um, we got one more question, and then we're going to bring up our special guest here. Let's see. As a longtime Tidal user, I am most excited about the original content on the platform. Are there plans to expand this? And if so, what is the strategy and timeline? By at MLFTW1. Can you just speak to like the history of like everything you've done around editorial and curation and content, and why that was important to Tidal's success?
I think the because we were solely focused on music and artists, we did things that were just a part of the culture. I guess one of the best examples is the way that we don't have anything to do with verses, but the way title interacts with that. If it's popular in the culture and it moves in the culture, we want to be nimble enough to like react. But we were just reacting to anything that was going on. Um, um, and yeah, we'll continue to do that because again, we are specifically artist driven. So anything that's moving in the culture, we want to be involved in it or reactive to it. Or so I don't have a timeline for that because it's actively happening like daily on a daily basis. Um, so yeah, obviously we hope to continue that and refine it and learn from you know Tidal went through a lot of iterations and a lot of mistakes and a lot of a lot of backlash and we learned we took our lumps and we responded in kind and so yeah, we'll continue to do that because the mission and the intention of what we want to do is right. I believe we're on the side of right, and whether we get there today or 10 years from now, um, I can't tell. I can't put a time on that, but we will continue to be part of the conversation and part of the culture and part of creating tools and analytics and et cetera. As we learn more, the site will continue to develop in a positive way.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's one more question before I guess. With Tidal, what are some immediate priorities that Square is hoping to address post acquisition? So I'll just speak to this. We have a 100-day plan, that's focused, number one, on just looking at integration potential. So like what exists between Tidal, Square, and Cash App. What can we do to immediately integrate to make it better for artists, to give them more tools to really add to what they're able to and enable them in entirely new ways. The second is around the listening experience and improving that as much as we can. So tools, listening experience, and then third is really around looking at the newer technologies, looking at the what NFT is trying to say and the spirit behind it, and what we can do to help an artist with these newer technologies. Um, so that's our first 100 days. You'll hopefully you all see some action this year, and we'll keep the conversation ongoing as we announce it. Now I'm going to bring up two artists, that Title chose to have a conversation with. The first is named Olivia. Olivia, I'm going to ask you to join as a speaker. And Olivia is from Detroit,
Hello.
25-year-old songwriter. Hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm great. How are you guys
You hear
doing?
us? Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Yeah.
So
hey, welcome.
you
Thank
were
you.
one of Title's Unplugged winners, and you also won a John Lennon Songwriting Award and current winner of the Great American Song Contest. And Olivia, while I get our other artists up, I think you have some questions as well.
I do. Yeah, I'd really prefer that you read all my shortcomings and not all the good things before I started speaking. So I was very fortunate to be chosen as one of 5 independent artists from Detroit to receive the Tidal Unplugged program award. And really, it's just been nothing but wonderful artist-centric serving assets since then. From the easy use platform, the like highest audio quality, stream payments. It's just all been really wonderful. And I guess the one thing that Tidal is missing, from my perspective, is an artist portal. So I wondered if you guys were planning to create an artist portal where artists could see the direct analytics and, have access to personalize their own artist pages.
Jack, you want to speak to that? Because I,
Yeah.
you spoke a bit to it earlier. Absolutely. That's absolutely part of the plan. And so I guess my answer is yes, but maybe Jack could speak further to it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely yes. We, that I think the biggest opportunity we saw, Jay and I, when we had our initial conversations was just the tools. Artists have very few access to data, to information, to analytics, and there's not enough direct connection to those tools, and the tool space is rather weak in comparison to other industries. And the individual tools are strong in parts, but the connection between all the tools to make it easy on artists to see everything that's happening around them, to manage a store, for instance, which is something we're excited about doing, is just adding commerce abilities as well, but also just making it easy to collaborate, to publish, to take away all the friction points that most artists have to go through just to get something out in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, really, like I said, Title's by far and away the most equal of all of the platforms, and just from my perspective, it's like it's not a couple of artists are favored or a couple projects are favored. It's just consistently, whether you're independent or you're signed or wherever you come from, what music you make, it's you have a shot, of being heard and of making the music that you like. And so that would be amazing to have that.
It was a great question. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's a
thank you.
great question. Can't find our other artist. If 26AR, if you're out there, and if you're logged into a different account, log into your 26AR account and just let me know, and we'll bring you up on stage. But Olivia, what has been your biggest challenge as an artist coming into the industry, and like, what else would you like to see fixed, and like, where should Title focus beyond the portal?
Well, like you guys were speaking earlier, I started, I'm young, but I started touring when I was like 14 or 15. I just started opening for songwriters on the road. And so back then it was a completely different industry. It wasn't streaming centric. I had physical CDs. I just, valued that, but I don't think people value that the same anymore. And that's totally fine. But I guess like as an independent artist, the toughest thing to wrap my head around is that in order to get listeners, to get new listeners on a mass scale, you either have to be, placed in a Netflix show or placed on playlists. And so I wondered if, again, if you guys had any plans to make the playlist more equitable for women, for minorities, for all genres. How many people are working on the playlists? I don't know if this is too broad of a question, but um, again, just serving artists as best as possible.
Yeah, Jay, you want to speak to the history? I mean, this is definitely something that I think sets Tidal apart from others, is its focus on curation and editorial, and a good balance between humans and algorithms. And I think the team has done an amazing job at being relevant to the culture as it's happening. When you open up the app, you see it reflected back to you instantly, and that's a strength and something that I think we should certainly build upon.
Yeah, I think in the beginning everything was like super manual. I was making playlists and people were making playlists. We were creating um, content in house as we worked on the algorithm, and and we built and built, and it got really good. And if you play a song now, you could just pretty much let Tidal fly, and I promise you, you're gonna find new music, new amazing music that you've never heard before. I found so many songs. My playlist game is A++. I challenge anyone out there. I see a lot of people on this call, like I'm not gonna call it individual names, but um, I'm definitely, you know, in the top tier of the playlist creators. I'm laughing. I'm laughing. And but really, yeah, the again in the beginning, it was a lot of content we were pushing, and we did a lot of work with the engineers, and now the algorithm is caught up to you know to what we were doing. So you know, but we'll always maintain a human element because that's where it comes from. You can't duplicate the heart and spirit and people that's in the office working really hard and care what's going on and know what's happening in culture minute by minute. And it's super important to us. So again, another great question. It's super important to us to interact and have that relationship between back and forth. There's been playlists where people said I made a playlist. I think like a Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes, blah blah blah, something, and I missed the song, and someone said, he should have put on. Um, I can't remember the song currently, but we changed it. And 1 minute later, the song was on the playlist. And those sort of things, that's exciting to me, to us, to the team. We like that kind of response, and it's a give and take, and that's the relationship we're talking about. Create in all aspects, not just playlists and everywhere across the board. Um, so yes, the long answer is to yes, and again another great question.
And we got 26AR from Brooklyn, Crown Heights. You want to unmute?
Yeah,
How you
I
doing?
can hear me.
We hear you.
Yeah.
Alright, how you guys doing? I'm an independent artist from Brooklyn, New York. This is an honor. I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to voice my opinions and questions. Uh, the first question I got is, uh, I was wondering, can you create like a feature that allows artists like myself to directly share interactive new content with fans? Hello.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Go more into that. Like, what do you see?
like I feel like it would be dope if like fans like artists could upload like pictures and new content to fans like to like I don't know like to hold on like
Yeah.
to the title app.
Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Yeah,
so I think there's and Jay, you should speak to this too. But like, we've had a lot of ideas around just I think there's been so many tries at making music more social, and
yeah,
especially that fan connection. And
yeah,
all of them just haven't been great yet. And
yeah,
I think they've just focused on the wrong thing. So we're certainly we'll do the basics, but we have some ideas for some entirely new listening experiences with exactly the goal of bringing that fan base a lot closer, making them feel a part, a much bigger participator in the listening experience as well.
yeah. Like, cause I feel like as an independent artist, engagement is big, and so that's something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, I think like when I spoke to the part about the playlist or how that happened, I put the playlist out. Someone said, "Oh, you missed that song," and blah, blah. That sort of direct relationship. We want to mirror that in all aspects. So what you're saying is on point. Music is a social experience, and you know think about all the social experiences you've had, or you will have that if we eliminate music from that conversation, you know, that's a big dynamic. So yeah, we absolutely want to create a very fluid, conversation back and forth. So, to answer your question, yes, that we're working on a lot of things, a lot of exciting things, and for this area in particular. Um,
And two
yeah.
six AR, like as you've been coming up in your career, like was the biggest challenge you faced, and is there anything that you think Tidal should be focused on, or that we should focus on to help artists like you?
Uh, the biggest challenge I experienced in my career is like getting that big following that I seek so much, getting that attention I really want. Uh, I feel like is there any interest in creating a chat box in the app, like? Because I think it's important to stay connected with the fans across social platforms. I would love to tap in with my title fan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the focus area for us is like how do we improve the listening experience such that there's more participation around it as well,
Yeah.
especially for the emerging artists.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Um,
Just to add on to what he's speaking about, I know it's probably not right to say their name here, but Spotify, has these banners. This is just kind of scratching the surface in artist personalization, in my opinion. But it is like a very cool way to interact further, especially independently, like 26 was saying. And so, is there any plan for that sort of thing for another visual aspect like that?
Sure, and I don't think there's any. You can say any name here. Again, we're not anti anyone. If we can push a different streaming service or whatever to have a better relationship or to work harder for the artist or to improve, the accounting to artists. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what it's about. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's not about us. It's not
Yeah.
about title. It's about the relationship between artists and industry. So again, I appreciate the you saying that, but again, we're just trying to improve that relationship, and we're not anti Spotify or Apple or whomever. Um, yeah, again, these sort of things would develop over time as well. We have a ton of things, and the first 100 days, as Jack spoke to, and as we get feedback and we hear from you guys, then we'll add to it. Some things would take precedent over others, but anything that makes sense, like you know, um, we the things he was asking for, we're in the process of in social tools again, so you can have that conversation back and forth, and you know, so to answer your question again, that the answer is yes.
And just to build on Jay, like any tools that we build, the intention is that wherever an artist wants to go with them, they go. And we're not interested in creating a closed ecosystem. Everything that we've learned over our years combined is about openness and transparency, and how creating something a lot more open and unboxed leads to better outcomes for everyone, and including us. But you put the artist first, and you put that mindset in the front of everything, and everyone wins, everyone benefits. So we have no hesitation around our peers in the industry. But we're gonna focus on those tools to make the artist shine, and give them what they need to thrive in every way. Okay, I think that is all we have time for this time. We're gonna do this again sometime, Jay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Olivia and 26. Appreciate you, and we'll be back later.
all right, thank you.
All right. Good talk. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks all.